Today we'll be discussing about polymerization shrinkage in composite restorations. We'll talk about why this happens. We'll also talk about whether it's really such a big disadvantage to our restorations, and how can we manage it when we encounter the effects of polymerization shrinkage in our clinical practice. So as you know, composite attaches to the tooth as an adhesive material, wherein the first step would be etchant. You etch the tooth surface, create microsurface irregularities, and try to lock the composite material within these irregularities. The second step of the process is applying a dentin adhesive or a bond like we normally call it. And the third step is using a composite restoration to build it all up and fill our tooth. So as easy as it may sound, it may not be as easy to do or to achieve clinical success in this kind of a situation. So I'm glad a lot of people are joining in, and let's discuss today how we can, what exactly is polymerization shrinkage first of all. We'll also discuss if it's harmful or not later in the session, so stay tuned. So first of all, polymerization shrinkage is a natural property of the composite. Composite in general is made up of small molecules called monomer molecules, which on exposure to light get converted to a long chain polymer. So if I have to tell it to you practically, we have all seen composite in our syringes. We all have composite syringes in our practice. So those syringes come in a paste form, whereas when we light cure it, the same paste gets converted to something very dense, a solid mass, which is our final filling or final restoration. So the difference is the shrinkage that happens while we are light curing the composite is essentially what we call as polymerization shrinkage. So it's something that is naturally a property of resins, that they shrink on setting or shrink on completely curing. And this shrinkage, it's just like how you would get shrinkage in a wool sweater if you put it in a warm boiler. It's just like that. So the issue now is that within a tooth, while we are filling our cavities, if this kind of a shrinkage happens, it may lead to a lot of clinical problems like sensitivity, post-operative pain. Patient may feel a number of things. There will be marginal leakage. It can also lead to secondary decay, etc., etc., etc. Now, this is polymerization shrinkage. But shrinkage itself is just a property of the composite. What exactly is shrinkage stress? So shrinkage stress is nothing but if you imagine a cavity, say class 1 cavity, and your dentin adhesive is the one that is keeping the entire mass of composite within the cavity joined to the tooth structure. Polymerization stresses, or the entire mass of composite is continuously shrinking within the cavity. Now this mass, so dentin adhesive is something that is pulling the composite towards the cavity walls, and polymerization stresses or the shrinkage stresses are the ones that are pulling the composite away from the cavity walls. So if you have to talk about it like this, can we call them opposing forces? Yes, most definitely they are. So the bond strength, or the strength from which you generate after light curing or photo curing your bonding agent, is holding the entire filling together, and the continuous polymerization that is happening within the mass of composite is generating a certain stress that is pulling away this mass of restoration away from the cavity walls. Now again, like we discussed, this is a big problem in a clinical scenario. We can have post-operative, patient may complain of post-operative sensitivity, patient may complain of pain, patient may come to you with marginal stains. They can come to you with a filling turning into a root canal, which is essentially not something we desire. There can be micro leakage, there can be secondary caries, there can be debonding of the whole restoration itself. So like fracture and mass of the restoration. And any of these clinical scenarios can occur which lead to a failed outcome, a failed restorative outcome. Now, how can we actually take care of the stresses that are getting generated? First of all, we need to know that we can never fully cure composite. So the entire mass of monomers that are present within the composite mass can never fully get cured to a polymer. Once the entire polymerization occurs, that is when the shrinkage is going to stop. So there is something known as degree of conversion. Degree of conversion is nothing but, it is said in literature that 45 to 60-70% of the composite of the monomer particles get converted to polymer. So the degree of conversion from monomer to polymer is only up to 70%. To increase the degree of conversion, we have started using preheated composites, we have started injection molding, we have started taking care of the same by incremental buildup. So some of the basic things that you can do in your own operatory to take care of polymerization, shrinkage, stresses. Shrinkage is not something that you can do anything about, it is a property of the material. You can take care of it by following the correct bonding protocol, by using a rubber dam, isolating well, making sure you can get the most out of that bond bottle. You can generate as much bond strength from it as dictated by the company brochure, as much as the company expects it to give. So if the force of the bond is stronger, so the polymerization stress that is generated or the pulling away factor of the composite will always stay below the bond strength. Second, you can do incremental buildup in composites. Incremental buildup is nothing but doing a buildup in your cavity walls step by step, not choosing big increments, but choosing a 2 millimeter range increments and layering your composites. Understanding C factor, that is a topic for another day. Using bulk fill composites. Bulk fill composites, why are they called bulk fill? Because we can use larger increments and cure them in one shot. Usually our regular hybrid composites, nano hybrids that we are using right now, or nano filled composites, since we are building them up incrementally, it takes a lot of chairside time. Also, there is a risk of generating voids, which none of us would desire in any clinical scenario. But with bulk fill composites, we can use less chairside time. We can do our work quicker, of course, and the depth of cure, like how much they get cured in one shot, is also higher. So no doubt the composites are definitely on the more expensive side, but these are the reasons these particular materials should be chosen despite the high price range, because your restorative success entirely depends on small things that we usually neglect. One of them we have discussed today, which is polymerization shrinkage stresses. I hope you guys understood what this topic was about. If there is anything that we can help you with, we would definitely answer your queries in the DM. I'll keep taking small topics. It's the season of festivities. I hope we can help you out with small clinical tips and tricks. Stay tuned and good luck for today. Bye.